Okay, so let's do some examples of how we draw angles. Let's do the easy one first. So here, this one is in degrees, and this is 30 degrees. We know 1/4 of this is 90. So 30 is going to be 1/3 of it. So here we have 30 degrees. Why? Because it's 1/3 of 90. Es un tercio de 90. But also, if you want to take a look, we know that half of the circle is 180. Medio del círculo es 180. Si estamos dividiendo entre 30, puede ver que hay 6. Okay, so if you drew the other ones, you can see that this is 1/6. Mira que 30 es un sexto de medio círculo. So that's 30 degrees. También sabemos que un medio del círculo es pi. Y este es un sexto, por eso es pi entre 6. So if you want it in radians, that's going to be pi over 6. Now, if you want to do the math out with a formula, that's fine. So here we have 30. Now, we're going to multiply this because it's in degrees. We have to divide by 180. And we're going to multiply by pi. And if you do this out, you're going to see that this is equal to pi over 6. So it's the same answer. Okay, let's do one a little bit more complicated. Let's do one with radians here. So here we have 2 pi divided by 3. So remember that 2 pi, 2 pi es todo el círculo, the whole circle. And we're dividing this by 3. So if you look, we can divide the whole circle by 3. Podemos dividir todo el círculo entre 3. Okay? Si dividí todo el círculo entre 3, tengo este. Este es 2 pi entre 3. Okay. Same thing, like if we know that 2 pi is 360, right? Todo el círculo en total es 30, 60. Lo siento, 30, 60. 360. 360 entre 3 es 120. So we can figure this out. We can say that this is 120 degrees. But if you want to use the whole formula, that's also fine. So here we have 2 pi over 3. And we're going from radians to degrees, so pi this time is going to be on the bottom, and then 180 is going to be on the top. Okay, and you can see the pi's are going to cancel, and so this is going to be 180 entre 3 es 60, y 60 por 2 es 120, y pi entre pi es 1. So here we get 120 degrees. So this is going to be the same answer as what we got over here. So you can see there's multiple ways that we can solve these types of problems. If you want to just always use this formula, that's fine. Just make sure that you remember what the formula is. Where is the formula? I saved it somewhere. Here it is. Here, right? Just remember the formula if you need to, from radians to degrees and from degrees to radians. But you should also understand why this formula works, and that's just because we're just dividing the circle or a half circle into a certain number of pieces, and if it's degrees, then you need to know the whole circle is 360, and if it's radians, you need to know the whole circle is 2 pi. This one, I'll do this one really, really fast. Here I have 150. 150 we know is 3 times 5 is 15, right? So this is 30 times 5, right? So this is 30 times 5. So this is going to be the same as this one, right? Except be careful that it is negative. So it's actually negative 30 times 5. So let's take a look at that again. Again, I'm going to divide this into 6 because 180 divided by 30 is 6. So let me divide it into 6. Or if you're talking about the whole circle, you're dividing this by 12. Now, each of these is 30 degrees. Cada de estos es 30. Mira que aquí tengo 180. Oops. 180 es aquí, medio círculo es 160, 180 y 30 es un sexto de 180. Por eso 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 partes en medio círculo o si quiere 12 partes en todo el círculo. So now we're looking at 5 of these. ¿Cuántos hay? Hay 5 y negativo. Negativo significa que estamos esta dirección, right? Because it's a negative angle, we're going clockwise. And how many clockwise? We're going 5 clockwise. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Por eso este es negativo 150. ¿Ok? Pero la pregunta dice, por favor, dibujar el positivo también. So we're going to draw the positive as well. So the positive one looks like this. And so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's going to be 7. What am I doing? 7 pi over 6. Or if you want, this will also be 7 times 30, which is 210 degrees. 210 degrees. So either one will work. It depends what they want. Yeah, either radians or degrees. Yeah. And if you look at here, if you want to do the negative one, si quiere dibujar el negativo, puede solo ir en la otra dirección. You're just going in the other direction, right? And so this is going to be 330 degrees. Or if you want to look at this one, this will be 240 degrees. Or if you want, it's 4 pi over 3. ¿Por qué? Porque este es 2 pi entre 3 y este es 2 más pi entre 3 y por eso es 4 pi entre 3. Again, these questions are easier if you have these circles memorized or if you at least have these triangles memorized. But you don't need to. You can figure it out just by thinking about like how many pieces of the whole 360 am I looking at and things like that, right? Like this one, we're going to divide by 4. Pi entre 4 es este. ¿Por qué? Porque estamos dividiendo medio círculo entre 4, right? 5 pi over 6 is going to be very similar to this one. We're going to divide 6, right? Pi entre 6 es este. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5 pi over 6. Y recuerda que pi entre 6 es igual a 30 grados. So 30 degrees times 5. So that's going to be 150 degrees. And you can do the other side. So I hope that was helpful for that. I'm not going to finish those questions. Make sure that you do finish, if you're working on this, make sure you finish the positive and the negative angle that are equal to each other at that angle, and to find them equivalent in either degrees or radians. I'm not finishing all of these, I'm just showing you what you would need to do. Over here, right, if you have an angle, you want to find the reference angle. So remember, the reference angle is just the angle from the where the actual angle is to the x-axis. So let me just do one of these. Now these are kind of strange, like these are not normal from our circle. Estos no son ángulos. Algunos sí, C y D, sí, son de los ángulos especiales, pero no todos estos son especiales. So for example, let's take a look at B. So B says 7 over 5. 7 entre 5. 7 entre 5, mira que es más de 1, pero menos de 2. Por eso es más de 180 grados, más de medio de un círculo, porque medio de círculo es solo pi, un pi, y este es más de 1, pero es negativo, por eso es algo aquí. ¿Ok? ¿Y cómo sabe que no es aquí? Ok, 7 entre 5. 7 entre 5 significa que estamos dividiendo esta cosa entre 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. ¿Ok? Por eso este es negativo 1 entre 5, 2 entre 5, 3 entre 5, 4 entre 5, 5 entre 5, 6 entre 5, 7 entre 5. Ok, por eso este es negativo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, este es 7 entre 5. So that's negative 7/5. So if you want to find the reference angle, recuerda el reference angle es este ángulo hasta el x-intercepto. Ok, este es 2. 2pi entre 5 es el reference angle. Mira que es 1, 2 entre 5. Okay, so that's the reference angle. The other way that you can think about it is, you know that this angle here, since 7/5 is more than 1, so what you can do is you can say, okay, I know that this is pi, so if we have 7/5 minus 1, that's going to be 2/5. Okay, if you're looking at degrees, so for example, we can look at C, so we have 315 degrees. So we just have to remember that, again, it's negative 315 degrees. So here this will be negative 90, and this is negative 180, and this is negative 270. And then this is negative 360. So 315 is going to be somewhere here. Algo aquí. Algo en el centro, creo. Right? So this is negative. Este es negativo 315. Okay, so then our reference angle is the smallest angle to the x-axis. La cosa más pequeño hasta el x. Okay, so how do we find that? That's just going to be 360. Todo es 360 menos 315. So this should be 45, I think. Yeah. Este es 45 grados. Okay, no sé si entendí este. I think that was a good explanation, but if you have any questions, just let me know. But yeah, negative just means you're going in the opposite direction. So it's very similar to something like this, but you're just making sure that it's negative, so you're going the opposite direction. And then the reference angle is the distance from that line to the x-axis, just the smallest angle that you can find. Yeah. Okay, now let's do one more where we're looking at some points here where you're trying to find the sine, cosine, or whatever. I'm just going to do one of these again. I'm going to do C. So the thing that you have to remember here is all students take calculus. Recuerda, all students take calculus. So what does that mean? That means we have all students take calculus. So that will tell you whether the sine, tangent, cosine, or all of them is positive. So here you can see that we're in the third quadrant, so that means that the tangent is going to be positive. So we're looking at this triangle here, so that's going to be 1, 1, and the square root of 2. Now we know this is a special triangle from before, but even if it's not a special triangle, you can use the Pythagorean theorem. So 1 squared plus 1 squared divided by, square root. So that's going to be square root of 2. And the hypotenuse here is always negative. It's always positive. And then these ones are negative. So we can find our sine. So sine is negative 1 divided by square root of 2. So that's going to be negative 1 divided by square root of 2. Or remember, we don't want to have the square root of 2 on the bottom. So this is going to be negative square root of 2 over 2. Okay, cosine is going to be the same. Negative square root of 2 over 2. And the tangent, you can see the tangent is going to be negative 1 over negative 1, which is just going to be a positive 1. And so you can see, yeah, the tangent is positive. So that's why this is a positive 1. For these ones, we're just turning this upside down. So this is going to be negative square root of 2. This is also negative square root of 2. And the cotangent is also 1. I'm not going to do the other ones because the process is the same. I'll start this one so that you can see what I mean. I'm not sure how your teacher is teaching you this, maybe with reference angles, but you're just drawing the triangle. Always draw the triangle to the x-axis, and then think about what these numbers are. So here, the x is 3, so this is 3, and then this is negative 5, and then this is square root of something. We don't know what. 3 squared plus 5 squared, square root. So this is 25 plus 9 is 34. So this is the square root of 34. So you can find the sine and cosine and tangent and everything, right? I'll do one of them. But the sine is going to be negative 5 square root of 34 over 34. Again, I made the rational not be on the bottom. And this rational can't be simplified. Otherwise, I don't know if your teacher needs you to simplify it or not, but right now this is already simplified. This obviously, this is the same as negative 5 over the square root of 34. Okay, we just simplified it so that the rational is not on the bottom, because you don't want a square root on the bottom. No quiero este raíz cuadrado abajo. So that's why we multiply both the top and the bottom by square root of 34 to move the rational to the top. I'm not going to do the cosine and the tangent and all the other ones. You can figure that out, but hopefully that was also helpful.